All right, so we're talking about Naamanus and how one of the qualities that when we have wealth and Hashem gives us wealth is how do we actually spend it? And Rav Lopiansky began by speaking that the way a person chooses to use their funds is extremely important because we're really a custodian of the funds. Hashem grants us our funds and lets us have the ability to choose how to use it. But the question we're going to have to answer at the end of the day is how did you use what you had, both your funds, but also all the qualities that you have? Did you use all the gifts that Hashem gave to you in their full capacity? So he continues, in order to help us grasp the appropriate attitude of Naamanus, let us sketch the following example. Imagine a person is on some sort of corporate mission. His expenses are paid for by the company. But at what level? We would expect that if the deal involves greater sums of money, the expense account also increases. And for two reasons. One, functional, and two, compensatory. We recognize that if we, I don't know how to say that word. We recognize that if we are involved in a multi-million dollar deal, we need to focus on maximizing the efficiency of the arrangements instead of saving a few dollars here and there. That is the functional need to expend larger sums of money for efficiency's sake. Right, so that's functionality. The other aspect of this is the compensatory
Compensatory.
compensatory. Thank you. Compensatory. It has to do with ego and sense of self-worth. A person dealing with millions wants to feel like a millionaire. He wants to look and act the part. One may bring this analogy to bear on our situation as well. A person whom Hashem has made a naaman on a more basic level of economic activity is expected to live accordingly. The person whose level of economic activity is of a different order ought to use his income to enhance his productivity. For example, have less important tasks taken care of him and focus his energies on demanding tasks. This will help shift his time to more productive use, both in economics and in ruchnius. As we move into the realm of compensatory, however, we need to become increasingly wary. It is true that every person needs an occasional sweet for his spirits, but as we tend to use our money more and more on compensation rather than on efficiency, we begin to lose sight of the fact that it is Hashem's trust us and begins to feed our ego. Although we will always pay lip service and say it's all Hashem's gift, we certainly don't act like that. Does Hashem really think I'm so wonderful? Is the type of prize Hashem bestows on his beloved a six-figure car, a five-figure suit? No, really, what we usually think is it's my money and I can do with it as I please. We soothe our conscience with an extra dollar or two of tzedakah, but the tzedakah becomes another expression of I can do whatever I please with my money. A person who possesses that sense of self is the polar opposite of a naaman. This is the most difficult test for the Ben Torah engaged in the economic world. The motor that drives the economic engine is kinyan, and desire for acquisition, greater sense of self. Severely limiting acquisition is almost like giving someone a powerful race car, restricting him to a 10-mile radius around his home. The point, though, is not to deny the sense of accomplishment, but rather give it a meaning of entirely different order. When the deal has been closed and one realizes a sudden profit, one needs to say to Kadosh Baruch Hu, I'm both proud and humbled that you have entrusted me with such a sum of money. Give me the wisdom and strength of character to fulfill the mission you have entrusted to me. Keeping those words in mind will help set the attitude and the actions will follow. Even if a person is not an absolute tzaddik, and no one is, and he spurges occasionally, it is not with a sense of entitlement, but rather with a sense of forgivable human weakness. Okay, so a powerful section in Ben Torah for life. Everyone have a great rest of the day.
Yeah.
Shkoyach.